To go over the Forms module basics, go to Website, Forms. From the start of Forms, you will be landed on the Submissions tab. Here's where you can see all the submissions for all your forms. If you were to edit any one of these with the little pencil icon, you would see the details of that. You'll see who filled it out, any fields that you have in place, such as this one has name, email, and rating. You can also filter by your forms. Next is the Web Forms tab. This is where all your forms actually live and how you can preview them or edit them, as well as change any additional settings. So let's just edit the basic contact us form. You will see by default we have name, email, phone, comments, and a reCAPTCHA. Let's preview the form. Switching over to the live site, you'll see the name, email, phone, comments, and the reCAPTCHA of I'm not a robot. This top section is actually created from this header section called a static text field. Let's edit that. If you choose a field type of static and then HTML, you can give it a label. We just called it header, and it gives you the editor that you're used to from the other modules. And once again, you can add images, links, anything else you would want, like the normal editor. Let's add a new field. So you can click Add New Field, select the type of field it is. If you choose Standard, you will see there's some default ones, such as first name, last name, addresses, phone, email, that sort of thing. If you choose Custom, you can give it any name you want, so we can call this our example field. From there, you can choose what type of input method you want. If you're not sure on any one of these, you can just choose it, and it kind of gives you a little preview. So a checkbox is just one checkbox, and a check group is a group of multiple checkboxes. Combo box, it's a drop down, there's a date field that pulls up a date picker, and so forth. A lot of the times you will probably be using either a text box, which is a normal input field such as these you're seeing here, or a text area, which is a bigger fields for like comments and that sort of thing. So we'll say we want a new text box. The unique ID is internal, but it's also what would be emailed to you for your notification for when the submission comes in. So a lot of the times you can keep the label and the unique ID roughly the same. Sometimes you're going to want a full question like, please fill out example for your label, but your unique ID could just still be example. You can decide if it's required or not. If it is required, you need an alert message. So if it's required, you might say something like, please fill out example, for example. You can have a default value in there or leave it blank. So what that'll do is automatically put something in place here by default. You have a placeholder value, which is similar, but it's more of a example of what they should fill out. So if this was an email field, you might do something like email@example.com or something like that. And then we can save our field. By default, it puts it at the bottom, but once again, like the other modules, you can hover and then drag and drop where you want it. So we'll say we want it right above email. Just by doing that, it automatically saved it. So if I refresh, you'll see please fill out example is our additional field that we have. And if I try to submit now, one of the required field alerts that happens is please fill out example that we put in. The other ones were already there for the name, email, and comments. Also, you can click on any field already here, either copy it, so if you want something similar, or delete it, which I'm going to do in this case. And the last important thing for the form basics is the configuration tab. So once again, we're in the Contact Us form. We were in Fields, now we're over in Configuration. Here's where we can name our form, so you can change the name of it to something different. You can change the page title to something different. The display fields are fields of the form, so the fields over here, that display in the submissions. So if you see this tag is the form field first name, and this tag is the form field email, and then parentheses around that. So if I go back over to submissions, you will see for the Contact Us form, we have first name, parentheses, email. And if you click this little arrow, you have the option to put in different fields too. So if you wanted a phone number in your submissions area at a glance, you could do that as well. And then anything else you put in here, so if you wanted a hyphen and then the phone number, you just put that in, or if you want to actually put in the word phone and then the phone number, you can put that in too. And it'll just display in the submissions area. You can choose a different display type if you want a different type of page. By default, if you choose none, it'll just be a sidebar page. But in this instance, we chose a slim page with no sidebar, so it's kind of centered, as you see. If it's live or inactive, as well as setting an inactive date for the future to automatically make it inactive, and then additional inactive message that you want to give to your users. So if your form is inactive, anything in here would appear. By default, you should always save the data to database, so that'll keep it in the submissions area. You can also have it send to a notification email. So if I wanted to send to Andy, I could do that, and you can separate by commas and space if you want to do additional emails. We could also say, let's send it to Matt as well, type of thing. Notification email by default is render all, which will just give you everything from the form that was filled out, every field. Your thank you page you should fill out. So this is after they hit submit. Where they go next, it refreshes to a different page, the thank you page, and it will say this. And then optionally, you can have a thank you email too. So if I just toggle that down, you can say yes, send a thank you email, give it a subject line, and fill out what you want to say. Now here's an option 2. So you could say, thank you for filling out our contact form. For insert fields, this is kind of important for you to use, so you could make it more personal and say like, hi, insert their name. Thanks for filling out our form, that sort of thing. So you can actually use their information they put in the form into your thank you email. And you can do the same on the thank you page too. So if you wanted to say, hi name, thanks for filling out our form, or thanks for your submission name, that sort of thing, you could do that. By default, we don't send a thank you email to the contact form. We think the thank you page is enough, but other types of forms, such as the donation form, we think a thank you email is very important because you can kind of give a confirmation or a receipt that it was received and they filled out everything correctly. So depending on your needs of the form, and if they need additional information, like someone will reach out to you or keep this for your records or anything like that, you can kind of choose if you want a thank you email or not. And I'm just going to cancel all this for now so I don't overwrite anything. And that wraps up the basics of the Forms module.